Hello everybody and welcome, all thanks to LD Mobile. This right here, right around the country is NBL Overtime. You can get involved anytime you like. Hashtag NBL Overtime. So much to get into. Players leaving, players coming, United top of the ladder, New Zealand finding form, and the Sydney Kings defying the injuries to get a big, 2 wins over the weekend. Hello to you, big man.
What's up, man?
You good?
Good. How you?
How's Tassie?
Tassie's cold, but it's great.
That's true.
Fans are sold out, really excited. What New Zealand has been doing down there is that's just the appetizer for what's to come next season with the Jack Jumpers. But I'm having a great time going down there.
And Liam Sandamaria, Studs and Duds is out. NBL app, nbl.com.au. You put a fan favourite in the Duds as well, so the heartland will be coming for you. But hello to you.
Hello, man. Big week. Lots to get into.
There is. Let's start with Didi Louzada, because the situation for the Sydney Kings, they've had injuries galore. You half flagged it last week, Liam, not from a factor you might have known, but the fact is that with New Orleans Pelicans having the injuries on the perimeter, there is an opportunity or a possibility this could happen, and it has. Didi Louzada, after a huge weekend for him, is back in the US in quarantine to play for the Pelicans.
Congratulations to him. Great to see for the young man. That's been the whole idea, right, of coming over here for a period of time and then getting into that Pelicans organisation, getting on the floor for NBA regular season games and showing what he can do. But it's a big blow for the Kings. Make no mistake about that, because he's been a really important part of what they've been doing at both ends of the floor. He's had some struggles shooting the ball, but has been really big for them getting to the bucket on one of their absolute elite defenders, and then, of course, blew up on the weekend with that enormous game against Southeast Melbourne. So we're going to miss him dearly, but we wish him all the very best as he embarks on his NBA career.
And the most important thing is that he developed English going over there. So it was great. I mean, I wish him the best. We all do. And he had a hell of a weekend. So that's the proper send-off that you would want going to America to play in the NBA for the last few games before the season finishes.
You mentioned when it comes to English, which we'll talk off-court first, we were both in Vegas a couple of years ago at Summer League, and Liam said to me, do you want to interview Didi Louzada? And I said, no, you've got it, mate. And at NBL, it is up there. It is up there on our socials. On your interview at Vegas, where you had to work through interpreter, to his interview last week on broadcast. And it is a mark of the maturing of the man, but also the people who have worked with him to make sure that while his basketball game continues to grow, so does his off-court skills, which includes learning English, which makes life a little bit easier when you're playing in the NBA in obviously a majority English-speaking country.
No doubt about it. Couldn't speak a lick.
Not a lick.
I mean, the interview was entirely done through the interpreter, but I got a great sense of the kid right out of the gate on that day, and the sense I got was this. Just the enormous smile, the friendly nature. We'd seen him play, and we knew that he could get it done on the floor. But I knew he was going to be able to come in and immerse himself into the culture, be a great teammate, because everybody who meets him or watches him play has this great passion for the game and a zest for life that is contagious. And that in itself is going to hold him in good stead as he heads over there. And we've spoken right from the very get-go about how he is the kind of player and the kind of kid who you can pick up and put in any team around the world, and he's going to fit in and do well. And I think we're going to see that with New Orleans.
Coincidence? Is it a coincidence that he played probably his best basketball game that he's played last Thursday night? Now, he would have known by that stage, I assume, and the fact is that he was brilliant. Pressure off to an extent, and all of a sudden comes out and has that weekend. Now, the bad thing about that is, we'll get to Casper Ware in a moment. The bad thing is, for a team that's been smacked around by injuries all year, it just makes it even harder for a team that currently sits in the top 4 to continue to be able to do it. Can they? We'll get to Casper in a moment, but can they do it now with Louzada gone?
No, they can't. That's it. They can't.
Casper Ware, let's go to that then, because it is going to be extremely hard. I'm not going to rule them out.
I'm ruling them out.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're done. They're done.
All right.
If without DJ, Didi's still there, still a big shot. Without Didi, if DJ's still there, still a big shot. But without the combination of those two guys, I think it makes life very tough.
If they make the top 4, now I think it's an indictment to an extent that Trevor Gleason has never won a Coach of the Year award. This happens in sport right around the world, where the teams that are most talented and are great foundations as clubs, The coach doesn't get rewarded. That's exactly how it has happened with Trevor Gleason. If you're an AFL person, Alistair Clarkson's never won one, okay? So Trevor Gleason 100% deserves to be Coach of the Year at some point, and it'll probably be this year. If Sydney make the 4, Adam Ford will be Coach of the Year. If they make the 4 from here with all their injuries, we haven't seen Cooks yet. Martin feels like a day-to-day every single time, and he's missed games. Of course, Vasiljevic, who is having an outstanding rookie year, now no Louzada. If they make the 4 from here, he will be Coach of the Year. You disagree?
No, they're not making it. Like, that's a hypothetical. It's not going to happen.
Okay, let's go to Casper then.
Well, it will be interesting.
It will be.
I mean, it's an extreme hypothetical because I agree with Corey. It's not going to happen from here because South East Melbourne and Illawarra.
South East Melbourne aren't exactly setting the world on fire.
Yeah, but no,
They
that's
still
true.
have enough room, though, for error, and the majority of their players are healthy.
Yep.
But you're right. I mean, if they do, he'll be right in that conversation. Trevor Gleason's won one in Townsville.
Did he? Oh, in Townsville. Sorry, I meant at Perth. Yeah,
Never-
you're right, of
never-
course.
never-
Sorry, man. You were probably there, I guess.
I wasn't.
No, he
Oh, you
wasn't.
weren't?
I was
All
in
right,
Melbourne.
take that pat in the back right back then. That was all Trev, no Corey.
But, geez, he would take some toppling from
Yeah.
here to take that away from him this year.
All right, let's talk about Casper Ware, because as much as we talk about the guys I do not have and won't have, Casper Ware is still there. And he gave us a 40. And the way, of course, huge game against Cairns, who we'll get to them in a moment, but the fact is that anytime someone drops a 40, they deserve a long conversation. And it's so fun to watch. We say this a lot. So fun to watch when he's in this mood.
What an outstanding performance that was. And had the great balance too, didn't he? He actually got rolling from the perimeter first. That's not how he's been approaching it most of this season. And then once he was hot there, he was punishing the hard closeouts and the extra defensive attention, getting right to the rim. So it was a beautiful thing, especially after the first game of the weekend where he was happy to, Didi got hot, Newells and Kickett were out there knocking down shots, and he just played that distributor role, and then he came out against the Taipans and went whackety-whack and put on the highest scoring performance of the season.
He doesn't have to give 40 before I leave. He doesn't have to give 40 each and every week. But what we did see on Thursday night, we did the game. He can't do that anymore. Because they're running out of people to be able to score around. So he's going to have to give us more of that 30 than a distributor if the Kings are to win games.
Look, that's where Casper loves to be anyway. Put the backpack on. We've seen him do it with United. He has no problem putting it up.
I know.
And filling it up. What we have to remember is Scott Machado's his nemesis as well. Remember, we sat here and I stated this was the best point guard in the league.
You did?
And we're like, no, Casper is. Casper hear these things. He and Bryce Cotton, they go at it as well. Those are the guys that continuously go at it when they see each other. So you know already, weeks before, I'm going to match up against a guy I feel I'm better than. I'm about to come out and give him the work. And he came out and gave him the work. 40. That was a serious 40, too. And he was hitting some key shots down the stretch to seal that game. Great game. It was great to watch.
It's an interesting... He's going to need to be superhuman.
He is.
Because he's going to need to strike the balance because he's not going to be able to just carry this team by scoring an incredible amount to get them to the playoffs. He's going to need... He's going to need Jordan Hunter. He's going to need Brad Newell. He's going to need Daniel Kickett all putting points on the board. And he's going to need to be a part of that as well in setting those guys up. So he has an enormous job ahead of him.
He does. Can't wait to see how it plays out. Hey, the Cairns Taipans, a team that copped the 40 from Casper Ware. We woke Sunday morning to the news that Cam Oliver is headed back to the US. Before we talk about what it means for the Taipans going forward, here's a message the Cairns Taipans left not just for the Taipans fans, of which they all love him, but also the NBL, who have really grown to love the man above the rim.
Hey everybody, Cam Oliver here. As you guys know, when I first came here to Cairns, I came here with my family, my 2 kids and my wife. And gracefully, we're expecting another child in this moment right now. But so unfortunately, as right now for my wife, she's going through some sort of health complications with the pregnancy. So I'm kind of left with no choice to go back home and help my family out through these crucial times. And it's probably this next 2 to 3 months until she actually delivers the baby. And I talked to the team about it, the front office and the staff, and everybody has my full support of me putting my family first, and everything. And I just want you guys, to really have my back on the support, everything that what I'm doing for my family. I hate to leave my guys through this kind of tough situation. It's a real challenge for me, and not only for me, but also for my family as well. And I put my family first before anything, and it's something I have to do right now. I have the team back, my brothers, and I hope you guys have their back as they finish off this rest of the season. I want to thank you guys for all the support that you guys gave to me and my family, and I couldn't help but be here and support you guys as well. So thank you, go Taipans.
Heartfelt from Cam Oliver there. Great message, and of course, much more important than basketball in the NBL season. And unfortunately for Cairns fans, and as I said, for NBL fans who love the way he goes about his ball, we won't see him for this year. He is signed on for next year as well, but much more important things to worry about. Definitely.
Prayers out to you and your family, and hopefully everything goes well. Prayers out for real. Huge loss for Cairns, but as we know, they are on the bottom. But his performance the last 2 games have been beautiful to watch. And I say it all the time. I scream it when I'm calling these games. Play through him. He needs 15 to 20 shots a game. This is a genuine star. He's more active at both ends when you're playing through him from the beginning. 25 and 16 in the win versus Adelaide. And then in the loss versus Sydney, 27 and 19 points. Absolutely ridiculous, those numbers. But a superstar like Cam Oliver, this is what he can do when you're playing through him. So you're going to miss him. We're going to miss watching him, calling games with him involved. He's a human highlight reel. Again, I continue to attack my goals the way Cam Oliver attacks the rim in 2021. Salute.
Man, you said it all. Mm-hmm. You hit it on the head there, Corey. I just hope we see him in the NBL again. You mentioned he's under contract for next year, and that's terrific. And that bodes well. But there's a lot of water to go under the bridge between now and then. It's been a difficult season, we know, up in far north Queensland. And look, hopefully, we've seen some stuff from DJ Newble over the last couple of 48 hours or so on social media, just shouting out the Taipans. Hopefully they can get the band back together next year and have all 3 of those guys on deck. Fingers crossed.
He's going to be replaced by Vinnie Joyce, a man who we've seen a little bit of in the NBL, not a great deal, but a little bit of it. As we have a look at some of his highlights a couple of years ago when he suited up for Melbourne United. What type of impact, if any, do you expect him to make, though, Liam? Because, and I mean that in the most respectful way to him, who I think can play, but It is very hard to come into this situation late in the year in a team that is struggling and not going to make the playoffs.
For sure. Well, he's not going to have Cam Oliver type of impact. He's not going to have 27 and 19. But I'm pumped to have him back in the league.
Who starts, him or Jawai?
Jawai, I think he's not a 5. Yeah, he's a 4. And he's even a little undersized at that at the NBL level. But he's a high-energy guy, huge motor, plays with great physicality, has good athleticism as well. And I can finally stop connecting him and linking him to every
team
opening in front court around the league, because he's got a contract. He's been playing in Serbia. And look, you know what happens when those European clubs don't cut the check at the right time. Yep. He's now available, and the Taipans have snapped him up.
Now, we've seen, again, we did a game last week that in the end, they're going to have opportunities. Vinnie Joyce, Ted Duffermore Jr.'s been playing really well. We're going to see, Krizlovic, Blagojevic comes off the bench with high energy. While the season, unfortunately, from a playoff perspective, high expectations for Cairns has been one that hasn't quite been met. There are going to be some opportunities for some players to really play themselves. Mojave King's been playing more the last couple of weeks, so we'll get a real read on a couple of these guys as we head towards the end of the NBL season. And Vinnie Joyce just fits in beautifully with that type of narrative.
Yeah, that's the only thing he can use this platform for, to show that he's worthy of a full-time contract in the beginning of the season and playing. So good luck to him. Ain't making finals or whatever, but good luck to him.
Now, on this show last week, I raised the fact that Orlando Johnson, I got told that he was still in the country. He was not, so thank you to the shout-outs there. But they have signed an import, the Brisbane Bullets. BJ Johnson Liam Sandon-Ray, I'm looking towards you.
Well, they've gone from OJ to BJ, and they're going to bring this guy in. And my understanding is that they've had their eyes on BJ Johnson for a little while. This is one of those guys that they've been trying to bring in for a couple of seasons now. And I tell you what, he's going to bring a little something. You look at the highlights and you watch the athleticism, but can also step out and shoot it. Has had some seasons in the G League where he's shot 40 or plus 40% from three. He's got some explosion towards the rim, and he's going to be here most likely for on court. I'm thinking for probably their last 10 games. So exciting to see him. They needed some help. Excited to see what he can bring to the team. But I tell you, it's all on the line for the Bullets in the 4 games now before he arrives. And look, we also know that sometimes it takes guys a couple of weeks to really find their feet in a new team, in a new situation. When you come into a team mid-season, it's like stepping onto a moving treadmill. Not an easy thing to do. So their season is on the line right now, the Bullets.
They're not making finals either.
Okay, well, hang on. Okay, go on. That's it?
That's it.
So who's Who's finishing 4th?
Illawarra.
Who aren't exactly
Phoenix at the 3rd place. Yeah. And Perth and Melbourne United up there 1 and 2.
No, the first 3 I agree with. I'm not categorically going to rule anyone out yet because I don't think Sydney, obviously we spoke about. Illawarra aren't exactly setting the world on fire. Neither are Brisbane. And New Zealand, who we'll get to in a moment, are probably just a little bit too far back, even though they're going to have those home stretch of games, which is going to be great to see.
You cannot replace Didi Louzada.
No.
It was already hard, DJ going down. Too much heavy lifting. This ain't a cupcake league, man. It ain't going to work. Ain't going to work.
Sydney Illawarra Saturday night's going to be fun.
Big.
Sydney can get that one. All right, just so on Brisbane, they were really disappointing Friday night.
Very
and honouring a great of our league in Jason Kadee with the milestone, and they were just no energy. So you talk about high energy guy, he comes in at the right time to try and lift them up when they're chasing a playoff spot.
I don't understand how that happens. They come out against Melbourne the week before and give up 58 points in the first half. And then they turn up down in Tassie against New Zealand and give up 56 in the first half. How does that happen? I mean, there's too many good players. This is an elite coaching staff for that to happen. And that's why I say their season's on the line right now. They're 10 and 12. Help is on the way. But in this next couple of weeks, they need to buckle down and really get some work done.
Just quickly, how does that happen? You would have been in teams that had that issue at times.
It's accountability. Whoever's the leader of that team needs to lead from the front, which is Nathan Sobey, get his horses and his teammates on the same page to get it done. You can't have that. If you're trying to make finals, you can't have a performance like that twice. You got to beat New Zealand, man. I don't care who they have. This is a team, if you're trying to make finals, you have to beat them. And they just flat out ain't getting it done. You got to take account. You have to be accountable. It starts with Nathan Sobey from the top.
And Vic Law being out and missing all these games. I mean, they're 5 and 6. Sorry. They're 5 losses from the 6 games since he's been out. That's the biggest factor. But that is what it is.
Talented enough to still get wins.
And
you know what I mean?
You
got guys representing the country on that team as locals, man. Come on, man. You got to be better than that. You know, if you want to make finals.
I agree.
You ain't just going to turn it up. You just think when this import comes, he's just going to, take the whole thing over. Doesn't work like that. This is not that type of league. This is not that type of team. Their structure is not like he's coming in, here's the ball, it's on you. It's not that type of thing. It's not going to go like that. How is he going to fit in? You think he's coming in dominating the ball? It's not happening. It's not going to happen. What do you think Lamar Patterson's going to want to do? Whenever a good player steps in, everybody else wants to show that they're as good as they're supposed to be. He ain't coming in just taking the ball over. And it ain't even no disrespect to him. If he's able to come in and take over. We've seen it so many times. We've seen it so many times, man.
And that end of the floor isn't even their issue. You know, they've been the worst defensive team in the league all year, and over the last few weeks, it's gotten worse.
So how all of a sudden, and I'm not saying you're saying it or you're saying it, it's gotten worse as the year progressed, right? So what do you think is going to happen in the last 10 games? Come on, man.
Well, the playoffs are right there, but let's focus on New Zealand because remarkably, They're actually a made foul shot away or a missed foul shot away from having a great week. Unbelievably, Will McDowell-White tries to miss it, goes in. Cotton does his thing, unfortunately. But from then, they were brilliant. They were great in this game against Brisbane, and they were huge. RAC Arena, down double digits in the third, led on Friday night by that man, Will McDowell-White, with a triple-double. There's a plethora of people on Sunday who played particularly well. Levi Randolph was huge. But talk to me. I'll go to you, Homicide.
No, we're going Liam first.
Oh, you want to build up. All right, Liam, you go first.
I'm going to set the table. All right, I'll set it like Will McDowell-White said it in this game down in Tassie because he was outstanding. What a coming out party for him. The triple-double, second for the season by the young man. And to have 14 dimes in this game and just one turnover in his fourth game with the team was terrific. And then you go from a triple-double to 3 points and 1 assist. It was a lot more difficult for him in Western Australia, but the squad is up and rolling. The ball's moving, they're defending at a high level. Levi Randolph is a gun, does a little bit of everything and can get buckets, 23 in one game and 20 in the other, and was enormous in big moments out west. And I'm loving watching this team right now.
They were impressive over the weekend. It was so easy for them beating Brisbane. So easy. Will McDowell-White, very impressive, as you said, that triple-double, 13, 10, and 14. I was really impressed with how he was able to bounce back after playing bad against Perth in Tassie. So for them to come back here and win against Perth was even more impressive. Great team performance, especially this steal to seal the game. Valiant effort in that second half by New Zealand.
They're showing also.
What are you looking at?
I mean, you look like you want to say something.
No, that game on Sunday, sorry, Liam, that game on Sunday, we called the game, Liam and I, with Pete Hawley. They're down 13 in the third.
Yeah.
They've had to travel over from Tassie, and I don't think we were the only 3 people in the country who thought RAC Arena against a team that's about to go back to the top, this could get ugly.
Yeah.
Levi Randolph got any shot he wanted. Corey Webster starting to find his groove in that third quarter. Finn Delaney hadn't had a great shooting night, but had been... And Colton Iverson was cleaning glass like Dennis Rodman. He's been brilliant. 17. And he was going up against John Mooney, who cleans glass like that against everyone else in the league. It was one of the best wins of the year. And I know it's been an incredibly tough year. They're getting home, which is such great news for them and their families and the organisation. And there's going to be a great deal of frustration when the year is done because they're going to be playing their best right at the end of the year and they can't make it because they're too far off the pace. But that's going to be...
They go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, they would have to go on a remarkable run like we saw them do last year. The odds definitely are against them doing that, but at least they can make it fun and interesting.
No doubt.
Right? They'll make it fun.
Very fun. They're a fun team to watch.
It is a funny situation where they've lost, we're deep into the season, they've lost twice as many games as they've won. And we're not quite willing to
write them off yet, right?
because, they've got so much great talent. They've got a really good coach. They've got this amazing run home up ahead. We saw last year what they were able to do down the stretch of the season. Now, different pieces in place here right now, but that team we just saw on the weekend can beat any team on any night throughout the whole rest of the year. So could they peel off 7, 8, 9 wins in a row here, and then all of a sudden they're right in that mix? Yes.
Wildcard game would be bloody brilliant because I reckon the Breakers have a real chance. No, but you're right. They are a talented, fun team to watch, and when you beat Perth and RAC Arena, it says you can beat anyone, anywhere, anytime. Melbourne United have done that 8 straight times. They sit atop the ladder, and of course, over the weekend, they were able to do it again. And I think the conversation is pretty much put to bed now. I have no official confirmation here, but I don't think they're going to get an import to replace Jack White. They've got one up their sleeve because guys like this, Sam McDaniel in the starting lineup, Mason Peatling in the starting lineup, playing particularly well. And when Chris Golden gets going early, then it's almost lights out when it comes to the opposition. 8 straight, top the ladder right now with Melbourne United.
So that right now they remind me of the 2019 Perth Wildcats, where they were making the decision about whether or not to bring in the extra import that they had up their sleeve. But They were rocking and rolling and had tremendous chemistry and were an elite defensive team and had all the pieces in place, and they let it ride in the end. Carrick Felix was going to come, but didn't, and they let it ride and they won the title. And I think this has a lot of that kind of smell to it because they are really playing well. Best defensive team in the league. Look at the ball movement. The unselfishness that's in place on this team is a beautiful thing to watch. That wasn't there last year, and as a result, they're piling on the victories.
That was huge, what they're able to do. That man, and there's another man I didn't mention, Joe Leal-Chill. They are flying right now, Melbourne United. Now, I'm assuming they're going to have someone in the top 10 players of the week, all thanks to LD Mobile. When you win as comfortably as they did, and they were exciting, let's check it out right now.
We've seen round 14. Now it's time for your LD Mobile NBL Top 10. For the number 10 play, it's a guy named Mojave. Rising up like the sun in the east, it's the young beast having a feast as King gets the rebound throwdown for a can slam. That's in at number 10. On to number 9, and with the wizardry of Gandalf, it's Levi Randolph somehow whipping this pass into Finn, and from there, Delaney delivers the thump off the jump on the one-handed stuff. The Breakers get in at number 9. At 8, it's Frawling catching it over the top, then delivers the drop to Dang Dang, who finishes with the slam from Sam. The two Hawks big men working together, allowing Dang Dang to just hammer the leather. Illawarra gets in at number 8. We're up to number 7, where Tad Duffelmeyer dimes up the high flyer. Of course it's Space Cam with the slam. Tad feeling the double team, but somehow finds the seam. And with Oliver, this jam is just the start of a theme. Space Cam in it for the first time at number 7. At 6, it's Sean Bruce, spinning quicker than a turbine before that blind find behind the back midair dime. Bruce somehow aware of where to share with Casper Ware. The Kings just doing spectacular things as Ware's triple gets in at number 6. In at number 5, that's Big Harry Frawling, looking like a giant bowling ball as he's leading the break. And when his shot doesn't fall, look who drives home the stake. Sobe won Kenobi bags a big game trophy as he just crushes this one home at the throne over William McDowell-White in flight. Nathan Sobe gets in at number 5. On to number 4, and it's Chris Golding delivering the rock behind the back to Jock, who has all the skills to deliver the pill. On to Scotty Hobson, who gets airborne quicker than a butterfly in a hurricane to deliver the pain. Melbourne are united on this one that gets in at number 4. We're up to number 3 for a Casper Ware rim spree, but he's getting covered by a shadow from the sky as Space Cam flies in to acrobatically deny. The Tower of Power making the offense cower as Cam Oliver gets in at number 3. And at number 2, guess who's back? It's Cam with the extension from another dimension on this detonation felt across the nation. Today's the day we say goodbye to the man who can fly, but never fear, he's back next year for more Taipans slams. Best wishes to Cam and his family. He's in again at number 2. But at number 1, we all know that beating Perth is all about stopping Cotton, and that's why the Breakers are right up on him. Tom Abercrombie gets the steal that seals the deal, and as he finishes on the other end, he gets in at number 1 on the NBL.
All thanks to LD Mobile. That's the top 10. Check it out if you want to see it again at NBL on socials. All right, all thanks to JD Sports. Let's get to our sneaker of the week, Scotty Machado and the Puma.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those are fire right there. Those are fire.
That's our sneaker of the week. All thanks to JD Sports now.
Oh, my.
Hey, you think they're fire? Have a look at that. The Raging Bull fires. You want to mess with the bull? You get the horns. JD-sports.com.au. How long have we got left? I'm I'm literally going to leave to go to JD Sports to get it in right now.
Wow.
JD-sports.com.au. The Jordan 5 Raging Bull. They haven't been around for about 15 years. I'm out of it. I'm actually going to JD Sports right now. Later.